Good morning. It's Wednesday, September 27th, and today I'm going to talk about something that's very unusual. President Biden has agreed to walk the picket line with United Auto Workers. Now, this is very unusual. Presidents don't usually step into the middle of a situation like this. Putting the workers above the companies that own them, it's not a good idea, I think, for presidents. And many presidents have avoided this issue. They may have opinions about it, and they might voice an opinion every now and then, but to walk a picket line with strikers is taking a lot of a chance. Because there are many in this country who are against unions and who favor the bosses over the workers. So I don't know if he thinks that this is going to help him in his presidential campaign. I believe that no matter where your thoughts are as a president or any other elected official, one of the primary things you deal with is preserving your position and ensuring that you have a great chance to win an election. And I don't know if walking the picket line with workers of unions will gain many votes for Biden. Yes, there are many, many workers in this country that are dissatisfied. But will they change their party and will they change their thinking because Joe Biden has walked the picket line? I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure that this is a great idea for somebody who has a big election to win in 2024. But obviously he thinks so. And he probably believes that the auto workers are correct in whatever they're doing. After all, it's been 10 or 12 or 15 years since they got a fair deal. The deal that they struck many years ago was not a good deal. And now, in this new situation that we find the auto workers, with electric cars coming on the scene and more robots probably coming on the scene, it's time to protect those workers. And maybe that's Joe's main thrust, to protect the workers' jobs, the jobs that are going to disappear. There's no way that there's going to be more jobs for the auto workers. There's going to be less jobs. And I've discussed this before about the different parts that are needed for an electric vehicle as opposed to what's needed for a gasoline vehicle. So if Joe is stepping into this mess, this strike, to preserve the jobs for people, I got to give him credit for that. But I'm not so sure that's the right thing to do, to make a big public display. Why didn't he go and he sit down with the owners of these auto companies, with senior management, and talk to them at a table somewhere and explain to them what they ought to be doing? But that's not presidential. I don't ever recall a president getting mixed up in the middle of a worker strike of any kind. And maybe FDR did something during the beginning of the Depression that could be considered something like what Biden is doing right now. But those were perilous times, and the country was falling apart. And I guess they're still falling apart. The country is in perilous times now, too. But I'm not so sure that this blatant display, standing in line, is going to gain him many votes with people. I'm not sure that this is the right thing to do. I don't know how many of you feel that way out there, and I'm sure you'll let me know. But I can tell you one thing, and this I am certain on because I checked it. This will be the first time that a president took this action. This is the first time that any president ever prepared himself or ever went ahead and stood on a picket line with workers. And you can understand why that would be the case. The president is the president of all the people. He cannot single out a particular group of people. So if Biden feels that this is the right thing to do, it has to be because he's looking directly in the eyes of Donald J. Trump, and he wants to show him and the rest of this country that he stands with the workers. And I don't believe that Donald Trump can make that statement based upon his history. And let's not forget that Donald Trump is a very wealthy man. And he pretends to be a businessman, but he's not a businessman. Running a real estate empire is not like running a business where you have 2 or 3 or 500 people working for you, or 1,000 people, or you're running a place like General Motors or something. So Biden is taking this chance because this could turn an entire community against him. The owners of businesses might not like this very much. But if he thinks this is the right thing to do, and he's going at this thing wholeheartedly, he is showing the people of this country that he means business. He's willing to risk his presidency and his opportunity of re-election based upon this action, because he believes that standing with the workers in this country is the thing to do. And if he doesn't believe that, he's a great showman, because no president before him has even thought about this, I would guess. But certainly he is the number one president to do this, the very first president to do something like this. So it's a very unusual action, something we have never seen before in this country. And one can only hope that it turns out the right way, that this doesn't backfire on him. Because we must recognize the fact that unions are not what they used to be. There used to be many more people who belong to unions in this country than do now. Right now, only about 12% of the working population belongs to unions. And many of that 12% belong to government unions. They are not private industry unions. So you have to take a look at who is Biden really playing this game with. If he thinks that this is going to affect a huge portion of the population to stand with him and stand with the workers, I don't know if he's got it right. I don't know if he's making the right decision, if everything that he thinks is going to happen is going to be good for him. There will probably be many people that think that this is a bad idea. What are the small businessmen in this country going to think about this when they only employ 2 or 3 people at a clip, you know? So it's a very, very difficult situation that he has put himself in, and I hope for his sake that it turns out correctly, that he makes the impression that he's intending to make. But this is a fickle nation, and we don't know exactly what people are going to think or how they're going to react to his action. I look upon it as a positive step, but I'm not 100% sure that it's going to come out the way Biden expects it to. So I leave you with those thoughts this morning. Have a great day. Bye.